Let's talk silver, let's talk stocks, let's talk Satoshis, what's going on with crypto as well. We'll talk it all, mate. We'll do precious metals, we'll do your favorite things, we'll do chart requests and everything else we do here. If you're watching this on the replay, use the time codes below to go to your favorite part. But if you're watching live, you get to enjoy every single thing we do here at Good Morning Stackers with me, Joe Main, brought to you by Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com, Stormrake, stormrake.com, your full-service cryptocurrency brokerage. Link somewhere for 2% brokerage fees for life, a 33% discount. And it sounds like I've got construction going on in the background. Don't know if you can hear that. Who am I? I am Joe Main. I'm going live on X and on YouTube right now. Hit the big red subscribe button and follow me over there. Let's do a synchronized slurp before we talk to the amazing GMS family. You grab your tasty beverage. I grab my tasty beverage. We slurp them synchronously together. It is my calling card. It is the slurp heard around the world. Let me know in the comments what you're drinking today. Here we go. Ready? Slurp it. 3, 2, 1, go. Ah, yes, I'm an Australian guy in a hat and glasses today. Why not? From Melbourne in Australia. I've been a stacker of precious metals since 2010. A stacker of crypto. Ooh, crypto today. Ooh. A stacker of crypto since 2013. Now I do this show. I worked for 3 major gold and silver bullion dealers here in Australia over the last 12, 13 years. And now I have lots of fun with my GMS family. I also, just so you know, give you precious metals investment strategy sessions. So if you or friends or family are unsure about how to get into precious metals, there's a link below somewhere after the replay. And I will charge you money, but I will save you way more than I charge. I've already saved people thousands of dollars by doing it the right way, getting into the right avenues, the right dealers, the right types of metal, the right sizes, the right brands and all that. So help me help you. Precious metals investment strategies. I'll put that somewhere. Let's talk about, let's speak to the wonderful GMS family. And actually, I should do it every time. Can you do me a favor? That's not what I wanted. Do me a favor and head over to here. It will be x.com/it's Joe Main. Can you do me a big please and thank you favor? I would really love that. Head over there because I've got 3,800 followers. Roughly, that's the one. Yeah, there we go. That would be trending over here too. Head over there, please, and thanks. That would be really lovely. Let's go back to the main scene. Chillin' and grillin'. Ribs, ooh, pork spare ribs. Man, a couple of chicken breasts with an Oktoberfest Sam Adams. Wow, you are just like living the American dream. Over there, Gerald. Good to see you, my friend. Had to stop in and smash the like. Yes, please. Please like and subscribe. And it's good for the algo. Silver Rigger, that sounds good. I hope you have a spectacular... I hope everyone has a spectacular day. Morning, Joe. Morning, Jason. It's good to see you, my friend. Morning, Stackers. He says, Mark, Florida, GMS. Good morning, says Silent Stacker. Absolutely. It's great to see so many of you here. Once again, I didn't do the notification as early as I probably should have, so there's going to be less people on in the beginning of the show, but we always get trending, don't we? Yes, we do. Let's take a look at the precious metals today. Okay, let's start with that. Head over to, once again, please, the X channel, x.com/It's Joe Main. Let's start with gold. Here is gold on the daily time frame price in USD, 3,353 US dollars. I just posted, once again, can you hear that? It's actually an industrial lawnmower in my on another property over the thing. Can you hear it? I don't know if you can hear that, but it's annoying the crap out of me. Gold's at $3,353 roughly. That's really loud. We are back above. We're just hovering above now that top end of that zag zone right here. So from this high and this low. Once again, look at all. I did this on an individual video, not a live show, but on a pre-record, where I said, look at all the time that we spend in this kind of range here, in this symmetrical triangle pattern. Look at the time that we spend down here versus the time. Look at the cluster of pricing. Okay, you can see much more action down in this bottom area than there is action in this top area. And obviously that says to me that, when we get up into this area, we kind of just spike and then just head back down pretty quickly. Okay, so that's why for me, and then you can see right underneath that 3,355 is where more of the action is taking place. Okay, it's just kind of consolidating more under there. That's why I've been saying for a long time, it's like a light switch. Just flip on, flip off. While we are above 3,355, as long as we're closing days above there, I'm going to say, okay, new all-time high coming for gold really, really soon, in weeks, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, rather than months and months and months down the track that we have to wait for a new all-time high in gold. And then when it's below there, I say, okay, well, we're back in that sort of more clustery kind of range there. That's a technical term, clustery range. Yeah. While we're back down below there, I can't say a new all-time high in gold coming anytime soon. That's pretty much as simple as that. We've had another breakthrough. We broke up to, let's see, 3,380. I really want that to hold. Can we just hold that, please and thanks? Okay, 3,355. We're back below, but look, the day is young. The day has just started. So if I show you on the weekly time frame, yeah, we've got to start closing and holding above. We did it here once, and then no, that second week we kind of fell below. We did it here once, and we just kind of fell below the following week. It's got to close. It's got to close and hold at least 2 weeks above 3,355. I guess technically we did it here. We closed there and we closed there, but the next week it was just straight down. So bare minimum 2 weeks, it's got to close, and then the third week's got to do it too. So yeah, while we are below here, and look, I'll just stay 50-50 for now, because you know, we've just opened this day and we haven't even closed the week. So yeah, I need to see at least, we closed last week. That's great. We closed last week above. Fantastic. Come on, second week. Can we please do that? So we've got to start closing above that 3,355. That's all you really need to know. Start closing above 3,355 on a consistent basis. Probably, I mean, at least 2 weeks in a row, preferably 3 weeks in a row. And then we'll talk about a new all-time high coming ASAP. Okay, within, again, weeks and weeks, not months and months. And do not break the uptrend line, and don't break down through there. It's such a broken record at the moment, and it's really annoying because it's content-wise, it's like, okay, same old, same old. Don't break below 3,265. Bad news bears for gold over the short term. Longer term, we're going much higher. Okay, much higher over the years coming. I am confident of that. Let's take a look at silver. Here is silver on the daily through $38.40 US. I did warn everyone on the video from yesterday, a pre-record, which was a kind of weekly market prediction. Where did I think things would end this coming week at? And I did say for silver, I think it will end in the green this week. So I'm still bullish. And I still believe at this stage that silver will end green for this week. Could I be wrong? Yes. Will I change my mind when the data says so? Yes, of course. You go where the data says. But I did say, watch out for the first, couple of days, 2-3 days of the week to go down first, and then it fakes people out, and then it goes higher and then close the week. I'm still figuring that's what happens at this stage. So yeah, we're like, it's Tuesday, so we got lots of time. Okay, so you can still have a bounce here and then close in the green for the week. I'm going to remain bullish for the week, and this is the monthly time frame. Anyone catching this if this is the very first show that you're catching of mine, silver is in a 45-year cup and handle. It's going to break $50 US. It's going to get into undiscovered country, Star Trek 6 style. Okay, nerds, if you know, you know. First time in 45 years that silver will have broken its 1980 high. It's the only asset in the world that has never broken its 1980 high. Isn't that amazing? Why would that be? Manipulation central. The beach ball cannot be held down for too much longer, and when it breaks 50, you're going to start seeing shorts get squeezed and all that. They're going to have to buy higher to cover their shorts, etc. You're not going to see a massive rocket to like $700 US. That's going to take 10 to 20 years to get to that kind of levels. But once you break 50, you're in price discovery, and then we're talking much higher over the years to come. Anyway, little blips along the way, but I am confident for a green week for this week. And even if it doesn't, if you come back down to test, say, that $35 area that we'd been previously talking about. Okay, that's just a little blip along the way. I mean, literally, that's just okay. Highs, lows, highs, lows, highs, lows, high, little bit of a extra retracement. Okay, and then onwards and upwards we go. There's no problem with silver over the longer term. That is silver. Yeah, pretty much all you need to know, my funky fair weather friends. Here is platinum. We'll be getting to Bitcoin and crypto very, very soon, talking about TOSHI, etc. One of my favorite meme coins, although we've got to talk about, is it time? But here is platinum on the daily time frame, USD, $1,345 roughly. It is still doing what I think it will do, and I believe it will probably come back down into this general best buy zone area, anywhere between 1,215 up to 1,320. I think we do spend a little bit more time in there. Could be wrong. As long as we bounce off that 1320 area and break right there at 1380, then I'll say, okay, probably wrong. And of course, the big kicker for me is clearing through 1,430. Some of you will be asking, well, why 1,430? Why is that so? Why, Joe? Why? Because, and I can't really show you unless I put that on. Yeah, I kind of have to put that on. It is the right there. There it is. It's the 0.5 Fibonacci from the old school high and the old school low. So we found resistance around about there. So it's got to break through there and hold through 1430 in order to say, okay, now the next move is onwards and upwards. But for the moment, I think I do see a little bit more downside for platinum, particularly when I look at it at platinum versus gold and platinum versus silver. I did that on the longer video from yesterday. Just watch yesterday's thing. Nothing's really changed, okay? That is my old friend platinum. We are including copper in the run in the analysis these days. Copper, okay, nothing to say about copper. It's still at like $4.50. It's been there for like the start of August, and it's just faffing around. Okay, positive for copper in the long run. Not a lot to say. Just needs to break above $4.90 in order to say, a good chance of onwards and upwards. Follow that kind of pattern would be perfect. Something like that. Breakout, bounce off, break through $5.20, and then you're looking really good for a test of the now new all-time high of $6, which happened just recently. Now that was on like tariff news, and then the tariff got taken off, I believe. Good old number 47. I appreciate that, my friend, but that happens. Copper has a bright future, in my humble non-financial advice opinion. Yeah, crack that $5.30 area, and then we'll talk about a new all-time high for copper, but we're not there yet. And I do show, and this is now the stock talk, so we'll talk some quick stock talk. This is the COPX, as I've been showing you for a while. COPX, the Global Copper Miners Index. We have tested resistance exactly. So we might have a little bit of a resistance test right here, but it's been rocketing up. So where copper has been going down, the copper miners have been going up. Can you see that difference there? You saw that big dip. Now, Copper X is doing quite well on the daily time frame. Am I seeing some bearish divergence? If I pop in an indicator, screw you, we don't want that. We want this. Yeah, okay, so we've still got some bearish divergence, and we're coming into resistance as well. What is bearish divergence? Now, the volume looks really good. Okay, look at that. Volume is really nice. That's just ramping up and up. So volume wise, so from a market psychology perspective, it's like people are buying the dips, okay, because that on balance volume is just nice steady rise. Okay, I would just say though, with the relative strength index, the momentum indicator, you have some higher highs recently with some lower highs on the relative strength index, which can indicate some bearish divergence. So that's just one little signal, one little blinker to watch out for. It doesn't mean you sell. It just means just watch out for it here. Okay, we're at key That was my international sign for watch out with the head shake. Watch out that we are at some key resistance right there on COPX, okay, with some bearish divergence, at least on the daily. I'm not worried about the weekly or the monthly, but the volume is this kicker. If the volume was also heading down while the price was going up and the volume's heading down with that going down, then I'd be really concerned. So it's probably nothing too much to worry about, so long as we remain above right here. So as long as it doesn't break market structure right there, if it starts breaking on the daily time frame through $45.80 roughly, then you go, okay, so bearish divergence on the daily, and then a change of market structure. So then we're making lower highs on the daily. Not preferable, okay? So, and really the kicker would be if you do the following. If you make a lower high, let me start that again, a lower low, I always get this confused. If you start making a lower low, then print a lower high, okay, lower than that, and then if you do that, that is actually technically the change of market structure right there, okay. I'm not saying any of this is happening. I'm saying if this then that actually technically is the change of market structure. Then it'd be like, okay, bit more of some downward movement on the COPX, but I'm in it and I'm up in my position and I'm happy to hold it until the data tells me otherwise. And if I on the weekly is looking pretty darn good. Nothing saying that we need to be concerned with anything. And if I show you on the monthly looks pretty good. One could say maybe price going up, but that's going down. You could be right. However, if we break through right there, then we're looking good. I think we're looking good personally. And the on balance volume, yeah, it's kind of tracking with. So yeah, looking good on the monthly. At least we've got to get through about that $51.50 mark, and then I'll say looking absolutely positive, a new all-time high for COPX. Anyway, I just spent a long time on that. That is some stocks. So we've done the precious metals. And we did a stock which is precious metals related, but when you're ready to buy precious metals, buy from Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, best bullion dealer in all of Australia. Might be having a chat with Ricky, the CEO of Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, maybe on the live show this Thursday, unless I'm speaking to someone else on Thursday. That might happen too. I've got a couple of interviews lined up, but Ricky's been doing great guns over here at Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, since he launched the business in May of last year. 20 or more items in your shopping cart, you get free shipping. What other bullion dealer gives you free shipping when you have any kind of amount, dollar value or quantity value in your shopping cart in Australia? Come on, man. perthbullion.com.au. Let's go. I won't do any more of those. I'll go back to... Let's get through some stocky kind of stuff, shall we? I can even talk about... Yeah, I might just talk about... I did it yesterday. Let's just see where we are. Have we... What did we do overnight with the SPX? Anyone interested? Can I find it? SPX. There we go. All right, here's the general stock market, the S&P 500, okay? The American stock market. A tiny little bit of a dip, but if you look on the monthly time frame, it's looking quite nice. A little bit of a dip on the weekly. As we've been saying, you do not want to break back below that $6,340, $6,350 area, because that would be then making lower lows. Okay, you don't want to start doing that on the daily time frame. Okay, higher high, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We got to make a higher high. You don't want to start. You don't want this to turn into a lower high, lower low. Not good. That would spell not good news for the S&P 500. It would be signaling the beginnings of a potential much lower move down, and it would be correcting a much larger move. We won't talk about what that move would be yet because we're nowhere near there yet. Okay, so just watch out for that 6,340-ish kind of mark. Don't break below there, and we're all good. Just keep making higher highs and higher lows, and we're all good. Let's see. No, look, I will do this on the weekly. Look, we do seem to be in the excess phase of a larger market. Okay, let me do that and let me get rid of out of here. Of a larger sort of macro time frame. I need to get rid of that. Okay, so we are kind of in the excess phase, and what we mean, if I show you on there and there, where you've had a large move up, so it's kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 excess phase. So the excess phase doesn't go forever, and this could be like the blow off top kind of area, just you can have a little bit of room to move higher. Again, just watch out that level that I said. Yeah, that is the S&P 500. Nasdaq, similar thing. Nasdaq, yeah, just don't close below the 23,000 kind of area roughly. You don't want to start doing the similar thing, making lower highs. Not good. Okay, could this be distribution? Could we be showing some massive bearish divergence? We could be, but there's a signal there, but it's not. It hasn't been triggered yet. Okay, you got to wait for the trigger. The trigger would be breaking that market structure. So higher highs, flattening out here really, and then in the most recent one, that's a higher high but then a lower high on the relative strength index. We haven't done it yet. You don't trade the signal, you trade the trigger, and the trigger would probably be closing below that 23,000. So no time to consider getting out or anything like that or being worried, but yeah, unless you start closing below there. And of course things like crypto are highly correlated with the Nasdaq, for example, so you'd be getting concerned with crypto. There is a thought that crypto at the moment leads the stock market because the crypto market is 24/7. Okay, so it's kind of leading it. Okay, so we'll take a look at crypto in a second. Any specific other stocks I want to look at? Not really. SIL doing fine. The GDX, Gold Miners Index, yeah, doing fine for the moment. Lithium, doing okay. What else? Uranium. If you're not in uranium, you might want to consider it at the moment. Uranium, this is the uranium mining index. Okay, I have a bunch of uranium mining stocks. We could see a bit of a further dip, but I think over the longer term, we're looking very, very bullish. Look at this. This is uranium mining stocks, okay, people? Really want to take a note of this. It's looking very good. Look at the volume. The volume is insane, okay? People are really getting into uranium mining stocks. It's over a key Fibonacci level of that 0.236, so long as it remains above. And I said right here, if you see, support bang on the macro 0.236 fib, and it's holding it so far. As long as it holds that, we're looking really good. I mean, and this is just the beginning of a public participation phase. So you had the accumulation phase after this bottom here of $7.30, accumulation, bit of a dip. Now we're in public participation, so it's kind of like wave 3. So kind of like this, it's like a 1, 2, then you've got public participation, pick an area where that goes to, 4 down, 5 up. So we're looking really good for uranium over the longer term. You might want to pick your individual stocks, or you might want to buy something like the URA listed on the New York Stock Exchange. I'll do some individual uranium mining stocks in another show. So that is kind of stocks. And I'm going to get straight into crypto. I won't do any in-between comments. Let's get straight to crypto because many people are wanting to know about that, including TOSHI and meme coins and all that. Get your chart requests in right now, and then I might take a quick look at your individual ones. But we need to take a look at the big boys first to see the general direction. Okay, where are we? Yeah, all right. Here is Bitcoin on the daily time frame, USD 110,221. I'm going to change my panel to the Stormrake panel. This portion of the show is brought to you by Mastering the Markets and stormrake.com, your full service cryptocurrency brokerage. Okay, when you're ready to buy crypto, either as a crypto native or as a crypto newbie, you really want a stormrake.com account. Why? Well, because they're a full-service cryptocurrency brokerage. They operate in multiple countries, including all the big ones, Australia, the US, the UK, New Zealand, and many other countries as well. And they do it all for you. Now, for a 3% fee, that's actually really good, okay? And you get access to deep liquidity as well as a crypto native. You want to buy a whole bunch of crypto in one go, but you don't want to jack up your average buy price. Just go to stormrake.com, give them a call, send them an email, and they do it all for you. They can hold it for you if you want, or they can still send it to your nominated address and you can do self-custody, okay? Particularly when it comes to sell, if you're a crypto gajillionaire, again, you don't want to tank your own price by hitting the market sell button or having to wait like 3 to 4 to 5 months to sell little bits at a time because you don't want to tank your price. Have access to deep liquidity with stormrake.com. And for a 3% fee, you'll be saving money over the long term, okay, when you're ready to get out of your crypto and you've made a whole bunch of money, okay? However, don't want to pay 3%? Pay 2% for the life of the account. Use my link, okay? I'll put a link somewhere. You can type that address thing here, right down the bottom here in the address bar of your favorite browser. It takes you to the sign up page. You'll know you're at the right sign up page. We're in the address bar. It then says Good Morning Stackers. So then you're signing up with my referral link, which gives you a 33% discount on brokerage fees. 2% for the life of the account. For full service cryptocurrency brokerage fees, Coinbase charge like 1.75%, and they have hidden buy and sell spread fees as well. Stormrake don't do hidden fees. You're just buying at spot price, if you know what I mean by spot price. You're buying at the market price of the crypto. They're not adding little fees, little buy and sell fees in between, okay? Stormrake.com, 2%. You're laughing. Stormrake.com. Let's go back. Here is Bitcoin again on the daily time frame, 110,200 roughly. This isn't preferable for the moment. Now, Bitcoin is going to $1 million a Bitcoin. Bitcoin's probably going to like $10 million a Bitcoin. Don't quote me on that, but in years and years, like, decades to come. Now, it's something like, isn't it like 2140 something is when the final Bitcoin will be mined, something like that. So you've got a long time, and you've got successive halvings as we go along. The hash rate gets more difficult. The distribution or the release of the distribution of, or the release of Bitcoin halves every 4 years. The supply is getting smaller and smaller every single time of newly minted issued Bitcoin. I see Bitcoin at $10 million and $1 million a Bitcoin, okay? But look, Bitcoin number go up and Bitcoin number go down. The best thing to do is to dollar cost average into Bitcoin, okay? But if you're a trader, now I'm just speaking to the traders right now, okay? As an investor, dollar cost average into Bitcoin, you're going to be laughing, okay? You'll do it for your children particularly, okay? Because everyone needs to own some Bitcoin. It's like owning gold. You have to have probably 10% of your net wealth in Bitcoin as well, because it's just going this way over the longer term. As I'm saying, trading-wise though, we're at an area that we really need to hold. Okay, so you want to hold the $108,000 mark. Is it going to be based on that? No, it's not that one. I think it's that one there. From this low and this high, you're in the zag zone at the moment. That's okay. Look, number go up and number go down. It's not preferable that we've now started making lower highs on the daily time frame. That's not preferable, but we will give it anywhere down into the zag zone. Okay, that's fine. Freak people out, head down anywhere to about 108,000. So long as we bounce off there, okay, and then we start creeping onwards and upwards, then that's okay. Then we've got more upside to go for this particular cycle for Bitcoin. Okay, so don't stress. But bounce off there would be preferable, and we've got to get back above here, okay, at about 114,000, 115,000. It's got to creep. It's got to make higher lows again. Okay, so maybe something like this, make a higher low, make another higher high than that high, and then just staircase it onwards and upwards, and then we'll talk about higher prices. Okay, so we want to be faked out completely here. We want to be freaked out. We want people to be freaked out. You kind of do. The market wants to freak people out to shake out the very, very weak hands. So what kind of hands do you have is the question, okay? But again, from an investor standpoint, don't stress about it. Even if Bitcoin were to go down to, and this is the investor mindset, right? If Bitcoin were to top here for its cycle and head down much further, okay? Head down through 100,000, head down to 80, I don't know, pick a number, okay? Over the longer term, your dollar cost averaging in lower. Is that not a good thing, okay? When you think about $1 million Bitcoin later on down the track, okay? But for a trader who's looking to get in and out and make quick profits, yeah, you need to see it at least start making above that area there, and 114 really is your kind of kicker for me. But do not break through 108. That's the main thing I was trying to say. If you start closing below 108,000, and it would be saying that, okay, where am I trying to say? If they're not buying there, they're particularly not buying in this range. Why are those sellers now not becoming buyers? Okay, so that's a mass psychology thing. So yeah, don't close through there. 108,000, that's my wonderful technical analysis. Okay, but if we do close through there, we'll talk about potential lower prices. Please and thanks. That would be good. Just remain above 108. Let's look at the others market. Then I'll look at TOSHI. Then I'll look at some individual crypto. Get your chart requests in. Here is others. The others market on the daily time frame. We are at $284 billion market cap. Okay, if I show you on the daily, get rid of all that. Again, that is not preferable. Okay, not preferable at all. The fact that we've closed quite down close to that $280 billion mark. Technically, it hasn't been broken yet. So look, technically, if I show on the 1 hour. 1 hour, we did break through. I don't like it. On there, the volume is heading down. Okay, the volume's down, and it's matching the rate of descent at the same time. So if, for example, the volume here was kind of flattening out here, we're seeing this lower low, but we're seeing kind of a flattening out there, I'd say, oh, okay, it's kind of like the selling is getting exhausted, but because it's kind of matching the same rate, it's not preferable. Okay, on the hour time frame, I thought we may have been making a bullish divergence, but we're still in convergence. So for example, you're getting lower lows there and lower lows on the relative strength index, lower low there, lower low on the relative strength index. The one thing I'll say is that we've gone into extremely oversold on the 1 hour time frame, so it doesn't spend forever there. You can still get a lot lower, but at some point this will tick back into the normal range. The question is, where does that do that from? At what price does that do that from? Okay, so while we're in this $280-ish billion range, you must be very, 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 very careful as a day trader or as a swing trader. Again, if you're an investor in general crypto, just hold it, man. That's fine. But, you want to be very careful around about this area. From this high and this low, I need to see it get back in, bare minimum through 290 billion. So get through the top end of the expected resistance range, because markets go down and markets go up, and they retrace about 1/3 to 2/3 of the move that they just made. Okay, so if we do bounce off here or bounce off here or bounce off here and then back through, it's just done a normal 1/3 to 2/3 retracement, and then the trend continues. So you need to get through 290 billion bare minimum to say, oh, okay, all right, a little bit of a freak everyone out, and then onwards and upwards we go. So at this moment, be very careful with your crypto, okay? Do not cross through there. You don't want to cross back through 280. That is not great, and then I don't know where the low is, okay? Some people might say, well, you could come down and freak everyone out and head down to the 0.786. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I show you on the daily, maybe I'll show you on the 4 hour. Give me 1 second, I'll get rid of all that for you. On the 4 hour, okay, here's what we've also done from this low and this high. We're also hovering around. That's why I'm saying just be really careful. It's not like sell everything and get the F out of crypto or anything like that. But we're just at the bottom end of the zag zone right now. That's a weak area to bounce at, but you really need to see the bounce here. Okay, so basically the lower you go on a key Fibonacci area, if you bounced here, it's basically saying like this, and it's saying, okay, so this is on a 20-something % discount from this high. Okay, if people are buying here at a 20% discount, they're like, oh, I'm willing to, like 20%, that's fine, I'll buy from there. If they're buying here, that's a 30-something % discount. They're like, okay, they're buying, that's pretty strong, 30% off, 33% off, 38% off roughly. Okay, if they're buying at the 50% off mark, again from this high and this low, so it's gone from here to here, and then it's a 50% discount. Okay, you'd want to kind of start seeing people buy there. It's like, well, it's 50% off and you're still not buying. Now that we're down here, this is called it's a weak, it's not really weak, but it's a weaker discount level at the 0.618. That's a 62% discount from this low and this high. So if people were buying back here and they're not buying when it's 60% off, 62% off, you've got to like think, geez, okay, it's not even bouncing at a 62% discount. And the lower you go, the larger that discount becomes. And if they're not buying here, right, at a 78%, 80% discount, okay, you got to wonder why. I found in crypto that unlike stock market and things like that, crypto really loves, as I've said before, to freak everyone out. And it loves to give you the absolute max pain humanly possible, okay? So that's why sometimes the 0.786 can be the kicker, okay? So maybe some people in crypto or a lot of people are waiting for the 80% discount before, heading onwards and upwards. But I just got to tell you, if you're breaking here, it's not great. I wouldn't assume that you bounce here, okay? I would have to assume that who knows where it can go down to, right? So yeah, 270, sure, but it's not really a guarantee. You really want to stay above that 280 billion. Cool. And yeah, get through that. That's interesting. So for this low and this high, yeah, you can see that uptrend line as well. So I said 290, that would be a good start. The real kicker would be getting back above this uptrend line and back above 300 billion, which is the top end of the zag zone from this low, and this high would be much more preferable as well. So 290 to 300 billion is where we need to get into and close over in order to say, okay, this was just another blip, and then fake us out, and then upwards we go. Cool. So that's general altcoins. If I show you the Bitcoin dominance has been moving higher just recently. You don't want this number to go up if you have altcoins, okay? You want that number to continue to tank, okay? It's saying Bitcoin is dominant. You had some bullish divergence, so then we've seen a rise in price or price as such. Yeah, again, look, the downtrend, the main trend is down at the moment. So if you have a look on the daily, that's okay. The main trend is down. So yeah, look, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. As long as it prints a lower high and it doesn't cross, I would say, above there at 60%. You don't want to start making higher highs on the Bitcoin dominance, okay? That's not good for your altcoin. So yeah, look, make a lower high and then break that. Okay, fine, no problem. And then hopefully continuing down we go. Just bear in mind, we are in bullish divergence, which is something you don't want to see, okay? And something that the amazing ASX trader alerted me to, David Bird, the ASX trader, who is the head of Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com, talked about USDT dominance, which is one you really need to watch out for. So I'm watching it, and it talked about this area right here. See that alert line right there at 4.5%? What you really don't want to do, we've just found some resistance there, okay? You really don't want to start closing any day above that 4.5%. That would be a change of market structure on the daily time frame, and you, just like the Bitcoin dominance, you don't want to see this number go up for general crypto, like all of crypto, Bitcoin as well, because what it's saying is that holding US dollars is more preferable than holding crypto. It means that people are selling and they're putting their holdings into US USDT. Okay, so as this number goes up, it says that buyers are selling crypto. Okay, and they're holding USDT. You don't want that to break that 4.5. So please and thanks. I mean, spike, fine, but don't start closing days above there. And particularly, you'd want to watch out for that 4.6 because I think that's on a weekly. Yeah, just don't start doing that. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You got to watch out for short term. You got to watch out for crypto again. If you're in Bitcoin, for example, for the longer term, this stuff doesn't matter. Everyone should own some Bitcoin in their portfolio, and the best way to do that is to dollar cost average, and the best way to do that is through Stormrake, stormrake.com. Let's see, individual crypto. Let's take a look. You've been asking for it, and you shall get it right now. Let's take a look. Okay, here is Toshi on the daily time frame, priced in USD 0006,470. Just like general crypto, got to get a bit concerned right here. You had the bearish divergence, little buggers crossing up as well. You had bearish divergence, higher high, lower high on the relative strength index. You had this move down, as we spoke about. This moved down to that clear area of support. Buyers here was resistance here, buyers here. Then it found exact support, which was really good. Sellers here became buyers. So this was the support resistance flip, which was really good. Okay, that has to hold. So basically, I'll just say if it starts cracking down below and closing days, spikes are fine, but closing daily timeframes below 00062, I would be concerned for your Toshi holdings for the shorter term. Longer term, I don't know, but general crypto, I wouldn't know at that stage too, and that would coincide with general crypto probably falling through that 280 billion, which we just talked about. Okay, and yeah, then you're back into this symmetrical triangle pattern here. Sorry, what's that? Yeah, sorry, why is that like that? Don't know, it's because I'm on the daily, isn't it? Yep, there we go. Good old daily screws around with me. You're right. Yeah, there. Yeah, you're kind of playing around with that, and you don't want to get back below there either. You're in that general zone. So yeah, don't cross 00062. And hopefully we just bounce off here. We're at this downtrend line once again. Hopefully this coincides with the altcoin market, as I showed you before, bouncing hopefully off that 0.618 level. That's where we really need to hold. But yeah, and I am not married to any asset whatsoever. In a time of abundance, of crypto abundance, Toshi for me is the meme coin. Okay, apart from, look, Doge is the absolute meme coin, but Toshi is the meme of base chain. Okay, it's the face of base. It's listed on Coinbase, etc. And it's one of the huge meme coins that I'm actually still in my position. I might have to cut it very soon if we start closing below that. Again, 00062, I'm going to have to cut my position on that just so everybody knows. But I have been holding it from up here. I will be taking a loss on it, but I don't want to be taking further losses because we don't know where it could go down to. Okay, but again, don't be married to your bags. Go where the data is telling you. So that's Toshi. Just be careful around here. What I need to see is a break up of at least, yeah, you've got to, what do you know, it's around about that 7.5 kind of area. It's got to start making a higher high on the daily time frame. Yeah, so until there's a pivot right there, until you break there, I cannot say that we're going to continue upwards. All right, it needs to start making higher highs on the daily time frame. Okay, we started making higher highs on the daily, then we had that bearish divergence. It's made a lower high, a higher low. If we start making a lower low, oh yeah, that's a big change of market structure. So watch out for there. That is Toshi. If you're still in my Toshi fam, let me know. If you're getting out for the moment, let me know. Just let me know in the replies where you are with your Toshi holdings, my wonderful Toshi fam. I'm going to go now to the comments, and then we'll get through some comments, and then we'll do some chart requests if we have time. You are watching Good Morning Stackers right here. Let's go through some quick. Good morning. Yep. Good morning, stacking family. Says you're late. That's okay, Space Miner. Watching the silver market betting shorter and manipulated every time it tried to run. It is getting frustrating out here. That will not be the case forever. Okay, let's see. Howdy, good to see you, my friend Jason. Posh, hello Posh. Don't know why that comment, whatever that comment of yours got flagged by YouTube. Don't know what it was. Good evening, everyone. Good to see you. Happy stacking, Mr. Happy Stacker. Space Miner says copper is a great tracking tool for companion metals. So many metals aren't mined correct by themselves, and copper mining is a great indicator of industry performance. Great point. Space Miner, you make a lot of great points. Got to get you on that show. Got to get you on the show, don't I, my friend? I'm interested to see who you will be interviewing. Someone you've seen before. Morning, everyone. G'day, knackers. Hi, Joe, says Caroline. Yes, DYL uranium mining. Can you look into this, please? I will take a quick look at DYL for you. No problem. Can do that. You have been the one to ask. Of course, Neil always wants to see ZBCN, NNE, nanonuclear energy, I believe that is. If you were a beginner, a noob, a greenhorn, what brokerage account for stocks would you pick? That's a great question. So if you were a beginner, what brokerage account for stocks would you pick? If you're a beginner, though, and I'm not affiliated with them. I don't get anything from them. But Moomoo is good. Moomoo is great. They're pretty simple. It's like every kind of platform, you have to get used to their way of doing things. But Moomoo is good because they have very cheap trades. They're like $3 trades, which is very cheap. Okay. They also, the great thing about them is, so it's moomoo.com, and you can trade on the Australian stock market. You can also trade on the US stock market, and they're also chess sponsored. And what that means is, if for some reason the platform goes out of business, or Moomoo or they go into liquidation, or whatever that is, or if Moomoo gets hacked, I don't know how you hack a thing. I don't know, but because it's chess sponsored, it's backed, so you don't lose anything. Okay, so chess sponsored, very important. That's Moomoo. I would suggest is very good if you can get your head around their user interface and stuff. If you're wondering why crypto price dropped, it's because you bought in. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Let's see. Joe is cooking tonight. Must have a hot date. I do not have a hot date because I should go. Me and the missus should go on a hot date soon. That should happen. I agreed. ISO is the safe zone, not the friend zone. Yes, you're talking about the ISO contracted ones like XRP and XLM and ADA and all those ones. Yes, I do understand that a lot of you are very ISO compliant, friendly people. You love it. Let's see. Someone did ask for it, so I will do it, and you did. It was Caroline. Caroline asked for... Where is she? Caroline. Caroline asked for DYL. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look at DYL. Where are we? I'm not in DYL at the moment. I got out of DYL, and we'll take a quick little look-see. All right. Here is DYL. It's a chart request. It's for Deep Yellow Limited. It is a uranium mining stock listed on the Australian Stock Exchange. DYL is the ticker. Here is the weekly time frame. I'll get rid of that first, and let's just look at the price action. Okay, I'll show you on the monthly even. Yeah, all right. So here's the monthly chart of DYL. Now, as it's a uranium miner, it's going to be largely affected by the uranium mining index. So let's go back to that very quickly. Here's the uranium miners index, and this is the one that's listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, it's in what many of us believe to be the beginnings of a large bull market. Okay, you got your first move, which is kind of called your accumulation, right? Your accumulation to start with, and now that could be the ABC of that. So one ABC, then it looks like we probably are in the public participation phase or the wave 3 phase, which is the largest wave. Okay, very bullish on uranium in the long term because of nuclear energy, the shift from equities into commodities as well. The energy sector is going to do very well over the next, in my opinion, and many others' opinions, over the next, 5-10 years or longer. Okay, so uranium is a big part of the energy play. Okay, so this is probably and ignore the pricing, ignore the time. This is probably the public participation phase of general uranium, okay? And DYL happens to be one of them, again, listed on the New York Stock Exchange. It has not been keeping up recently with other uranium plays. So let me give you an example. I'll just show you some other uranium plays. Here is, this is one I'm watching very carefully, by the way, as you know. This is UUUU. This is Energy Fuels, okay? It's had a large move just recently, almost about to break out. I'm watching this one very closely. You might take a look at something like, let's see, CCJ. Okay, CCJ, an American one. This is the largest one. This is Cameco, okay, doing very well. But if you take a look at, it's just kind of lagging behind. Now, on the, although I'm bullish on DYL in the longer term. Again, bear in mind though, it's an individual stock, and that's up to, you know, the what happens if the director quits, or the this or that, or they don't find what they thought they found, or whatever. Okay, so if you want to be just bullish uranium, better to buy a uranium mining index. Okay, so you're getting an averaging of all of the good ones. Okay, but yeah, DYL might be one to keep on top of, and I am bullish on it on the longer term. On the weekly, it is making, technically, I mean, you've just made an equal high, but yeah, look, I mean, you're making, since then, you're making higher highs on the weekly, higher low, higher high, higher low. We probably haven't pivoted just yet, so I can't say, oh, is that a, it's kind of momentum's a little bit waning. That's kind of like a pivot. That's like technically it's a higher high. We need to make a higher low, and then you need to start doing that and continually to make higher highs in order to say that the uptrend is intact. On the relative strength index, I'm going to tell you, just on the weekly, if I get rid of all of this for you, we have to look at all sides, okay? On the weekly time frame, I don't know if this is a pivot just yet, but on the weekly, you can see, I guess technically a higher high, but a lower high on the relative strength index. That could be saying there's some bearish divergence on the weekly. It could be totally wrong on that, okay? On the daily time frame, yeah, look, again, you're making slightly higher highs on the daily for DYL. Doesn't mean you trade this signal, okay? Once again, doesn't mean you trade that signal. You have to watch for changes of market structure, okay? It's the price action is the key, okay? So yeah, you can be making a little bit bearish on the daily time frame, bearish divergence, again, higher highs, lower highs. It's not really that strong. So for example, the angle, the stronger the angle, or the bigger the angle, the stronger the divergence. So for example, if you were doing like that kind of higher high and that kind of lower low, that's a much stronger one than a kind of like it's kind of like equal highs-ish, equal lows-ish, so it's not as strong, but you have to bear that in mind, okay? And I would say if you start closing, you don't want to start closing below that $1.40 mark, because then you might be saying, okay, now we're making lower highs and lower lows, so that would be a change of market structure. You don't preferably want to do that, so watch out for that, $1.40. On the monthly, however, let's take a look at the monthly. What are we looking at? Monthly time frame. Let me get rid of you. Okay, good old USDT is crossing back up above that area that I don't want to see it cross back above. Monthly. Higher highs. Lower highs so far. Now, the good thing it has going for it at the moment on the monthly time frame is its volume. Okay, so people, when it's dipping, it's seeming like people are really scooping that up. Okay, so that's the blinker, the positive blinker. Okay, so look at the divergence, and this is what I've been learning at Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com. Look at the divergence between the volume and the price. Okay, so there's one indicator that's saying, okay, momentum is starting to, like the gas is starting to run out of the car. Okay, but if you look at the volume indicator, what you've got is that has already broken resistance there, and it's not following the price action, so it's kind of diverging. Okay, so yeah, look at that. See, that's broken, but that really hasn't broken yet, particularly if you take it from here to here. That's broken, but here it hasn't broken yet, so it might be saying that volume is preceding the price. So it might be saying that the volume is the canary in the coal mine in a positive way, and then as long as we break above that roughly $1.90, $2 mark, then look, then we're just making successive higher highs on the monthly, higher lows, and then hopefully onwards and upwards. So I'm not going to say we're out of the woods for, I'm not going to say, sorry, it's bad news for DYL, but you just need to start seeing it creep above that $1.90 area. Okay, so I'm probably, on balance of probability, I'm probably bullish on it on the longer term because I think uranium is so bullish. Okay, but yeah, that's what you need to watch out for. Okay, so bullish in the long term, don't know what's going on in the short to medium term. Watch for a clear of that $1.90 mark. You start clearing and holding above $1.90, which happens to be, and that's why we're finding resistance. Bang, okay. That's why we're finding resistance. So if I do simple, very simple support and resistance zone, what do we see? Should have done that at the very start. Right there, okay, is a massive level of support and resistance. So we need to flip that. So if I put that, I'll make you purple. Yeah, I'll do you blue. I'll do you blue right there. Cool. So if I get rid of all of that, 1, 2, 3, 4, there you go. So we've come up to major resistance, okay? Weak, some bearish divergence as we're getting up into resistance, okay? So that's very clear. Clear through that $1.90, start closing a month above $1.90, then we're looking pretty good, okay? Then we'll be talking about higher prices to come. Yeah, that's DYL. Don't think I have anything else that I want to talk about. I think that's probably about it because we're getting into the 1 hour mark. I probably won't do ZBCN today or nano nuclear. I think I'll just stick to one chart request today. Any final comments, and then we shall get out of here, my lovely people. No audio. What was that about Moo? No audio? That's your problem, man, not mine. Moo is a trading platform. Which I use currently, very cheap trades, etc. My prediction says Space Miner NG, natural gas, will take a major lead in front of uranium. Then uranium for the win. Very interesting. I believe we'll need natural gas foundations to support uranium development. So it's kind of like shovels for the gold miners. Too much cost to jump straight to uranium. That's a great point, Space Miner. So watch out for natural gas. I should be watching the natural gas. I think I have a natural gas index that I'm watching. I just don't remember what it is. France recycles 95% of their uranium. Why doesn't America and Russia? Good question. Awesome, Joe. Thank you. You are very welcome. Oh, the founder of Ripple that sold out for $2 billion is building a private space station. What? For $2 billion? I doubt that. That's an interesting one. I'll have to look that up. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you have watched Good Morning Stackers with me, Joe Main, going out live on X and on YouTube. We talked about everything that we talked about. The sound is going out. Yeah, don't know why that is. Not sure. Out of interest, I have a brand new microphone. Well, I have a new microphone for me coming in the mail, I think, this morning. So I'll be swatching. I have been having some microphone issues, but I don't know if this has got to do with it. Anyway, new microphone coming for all you wonderful people. He says, yes, it is true. He's building his own space station. That's amazing. Good on him. Fantastic. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen, what we do. Of course, we do the final synchronized slurp and we dance it out. Once again, if you're watching this, this is Good Morning Stackers live on YouTube and on X, the weekdaily live content stuff. I do live on Tuesdays and Thursdays and all the stuff in between where we talk precious metals, we talk crypto, we talk stocks, and basically anything you can invest in that's going to make you money and make you wealthy over the long term. That's what we stack. Okay, my funky people. Grab your tasty beverages, and if you would like me to help you get into precious metals specifically, I'll put a link below to my strategy sessions. Save you a lot of money. Grab your tasty beverage, whatever you're drinking right now, and we dance it out as well at the end because you have watched.
Good morning, Stack.
Oh yeah, we're feeling fine.
Good morning, Stack.
It's podcast time.
Grab it.
Grab a tasty beverage. Let's get in the groove.
Let's do the
Synchronized.
3, 2, 1, go.
Now we're on the move.
Some of you hate it, but most of you love it. Ladies and gentlemen, you've watched Good Morning Stackers. Stay safe, stay informed, keep stacking whatever you're stacking, and I will see you all very soon. Have a great day. Bye.